Copy. Scotch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wheelybins TV for the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. We're here at Phillip Island tonight for the first instalment of round 3 of the Venom division, hosted by the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. It's been fierce competition so far up until this point. Tonight's race will be consisting of a 17 lap race to kick off, and then we'll have a reverse to the top 10 grid for the second race for a 22 lap finale this evening. In the commentary box joining me tonight, I've got Pete Davison with me. How are you tonight, Pete?
Hi, Dan. Well, thanks. It's great to be here. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year.
Yes, it is the new year, 2018. Fresh start. You've been out and cut a few laps already. How's the track?
Mate, good. It's about 23 degrees out there at the moment. A little cloudy in the afternoon. There's plenty of grip out there. And a lot of cars out there at the moment, so yeah, didn't get the opportunity to put in a good lap time, but mate, everybody's out there pushing on early.
It's always a circuit that'll present some tight racing between people. We normally we have pit stops during this race. The first race tonight we won't be having any pit stops. The second race will consist of one compulsory pit stop, and maybe even a safety car thrown in there as well. Possibilities, so that always closes the pack up and makes for some really close racing here at Phillip Island.
Dan, always, it's a great track. I know you've driven here. V8 supercars around here on a day like today, a lot of fun, very competitive. We've got about 38 cars that have joined us for tonight. 30 of those cars have put a lap time down, and the times are very close.
Yeah,
mate,
so
Dane,
sorry, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say Dane Warren sitting on top of the leaderboard with a 129.58, followed by Nick Cummings with a 129.6, Duran the Wolf 129.66, and Haley Harbour on a 129.98. So the 4 of those guys are sub 130 seconds.
And it's a tough achievement to get sub 130s. I know I can only probably push maybe a 131 if I'm really screaming on a good day, but to do a sub 130 around here is a very quick time, and on par with some of the best in real life racing.
Mate, well, the top 10 that we see out there tonight, you know, there'd be a handful of those guys would be some of the fastest sim racers that you'd find in the country. So good to see that they're here tonight for one thing, and two, they all run around together. They run various series. They certainly know how to drive these cars around here.
They do. Before we kick off though, this evening we'd like to thank our major sponsor, West End Mazda. They've been a big part of bringing the Venom series to us through the end of last year, and again for the last 2 rounds in 2018 of it. Putting up some great prizes, cash prizes for iRacing credits, and in the finale a t-shirt, a Wheelybins t-shirt. So big thank you to West End Mazda, and also Limelight Motorsport. We've been handing out stubby coolers and things like that, courtesy Limelight Motorsport. Thanks to them being on board also.
Mate, looking at social media on Wheelybins Mayhem Republic online or on the Facebook page, I've seen there's been a lot of stubby holders and mouse pads circulating throughout some of our members, some of our over 200 members. So, mate, they've been very popular, and then obviously a good time of year to need a stubby cooler.
They are. The summertime is here, and if you want to pick up a stubby cooler, just head over to wheelybinsmayhemrepublic.com. You can find a place there and order yourself a stubby cooler, and I'll send it straight out to you. Express post. That's only Australian orders. If you're international, shoot me an email at wheelybinsmayhemrepublic at gmail.com, and we'll work something out for our international viewers there.
Mate, just talking about our sponsor West End Mazda tonight, I see Jamie McKnight has put a lap down of a 130.3, so good to see him tonight. Adam Dodd, who's one of who is his business partner, is also involved. I haven't seen him for a while, but we thank both those guys for their continued support, and especially putting on events like this. It's a great event, and considering we now have 34 drivers that put a lap time down.
Yep, we'll head over and have a look at some of these drivers at the moment out on the track. Currently following Jordan I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Pruden. You might be help me with that one there, Pete.
Mate, Jordan Pruden, yep. Jordan's in 7th with a 134, and he also is affiliated with West End Mazda, who does a lot of support for online racing in Australia. So we always think those guys in Blacktown and Parramatta, as the car states, a flash-looking car. I reckon I'd put $5 on who did the livery for that car.
You put $5 on that, then you'd be probably $5 richer than me. Also out on track is the number 1 so far in the practice session with the 129.5. Wayne Warren. He's running the Rack Corp tonight on that Commodore. Very quick, and he's also picked up the last round of the Venom series that we had in last year. He picked up the $25 iRacing voucher. The first winner of that for the first round was Ned Hope. Unfortunately, he can't be with us racing tonight. Moving house, I believe. He was going to join us in the commentary box, but also got tied up. He couldn't join us for that.
Oh, big move into the hairpin there, Dan. Got Thomas McMillan, who's another high flyer on one of these vehicles around this track. He's putting the pressure on Dane. Thomas has only just turned up because he's currently 31st fastest, but I'm sure he'll change that real soon.
Looks like he's got a new sponsor on the side of that car for tonight as well. Unneeded service.
Mate, those are very affiliated looking paint schemes to me. I'm sure there's a bit of crossover sponsorship there with Rack Corp. And Ned, and he's had his run a little wide. Thomas has tipped it in over Lukey and pushed Dane wide into the hairpin. You know, no love lost between those two. They'll be pushing each other hard, and as we can see, Dane up the inside onto the last turn, heading onto the start-finish line to start his next lap.
And another one of our real-world races, Harley Harbour, out on the track in the BHI paint scheme. That's Best Harbour Industries. Rocking that funky purple. It's almost like that change colour tone about it. Put in a 129.8, sitting in 4th currently. Very quick. Hopefully he can be consistent tonight and finish this race and get a good position.
Great lap time. Also, I see car number numero uno, car number 1 out there on the circuit. He was the last winner of the Wheelybins Winter Series, I believe.
Dave Douglas.
I'm a voucher and a shirt. That'd be Dave Douglas, all the way from Central Queensland.
Also famous for doing the shoey when he does have a win.
I have seen the shoey. I think we've all seen the shoey. As he gets a little crossed up going into the hairpin, puts the pressure on though. He's chasing down another Central Queensland in car 99.
Great paint scheme there. Riley Curtis Designs looking very fast on Dave's car tonight. Great to see everyone's pulled out their A game with their liveries tonight.
Mate, they have. And interesting to say that Kenworth car in front, I believe, is a Riley Curtis design as well.
Yeah, it's very nice. That to be the vehicle of Russell Boardman in the 99, the Kenworth.
Dave's up the inside. Lukey Heights, what a great turn. A lot of fun drifting your car through there. Mate, if it was a shopping trolley, it would be fun through there, providing your friends were pushing you and you'd had a couple of beers.
Also makes for some exciting passing manoeuvres coming up over that hill. A dive down the inside could win you the race, and it could also lose you because it's quite a dangerous spot, and contact between cars is quite probable on that turn.
I'm sure there's been a few friends lost there over the years, Dan.
Over to the Pink Panther, Eugene, currently sitting in position 8 with a 130.6. Brilliant pink car, you can't miss it on the track. Pink Panther we call him.
Mate, there are so many cars I'm just circulating to get to the Panther, it's taken me forever.
Got another 18 minutes remaining here in the practice session, and then we'll move over to a qualify session. The guys will get, I think it's about 10-15 minutes in their qualify session to set a lap, 10 minutes to set a lap around here at Phillip Island, and we'll move into the first race for the evening. 17 laps, no pit stops, so it'll be flat out super sprint here at Phillip Island.
Yeah, it is the first race is a super sprint, and the second race is a reverse grid. So that'll keep things a little interesting. 22 laps with a compulsory pit stop. Am I right? It is a reverse grid, isn't it?
Reverse grid for the top 10, yes. The rest of them will start in their finishing order.
Thank you, Dan. Sorry.
I believe that's what I was told by race control earlier anyway.
Sorry, just reading in the program, finishing order from race 1, top 10 reverse, correct. 10-minute warm-up, race 2, 22 laps, 1 compulsory stop. The vehicles will be starting with about 50 litres of fuel. Oh, sorry, 50% fuel, half a tank.
Jacob Knight sitting in position 10. He's had a bit of a rough run in these Venom series and a few of the other broadcasts that we've done. He's succeeded well for the first half to 3/4 of the race, and then something's mysteriously always happened, whether it was a fuel loss or something as we're seeing on screen right now. He's just tipped a little bit of grass and spun that car around.
It's a fine line between pleasure and pain at this place in these cars. Jacob very fast and look over a race distance, even a sprint race distance, certainly somebody to keep an eye on.
Kyle Stokes, another good performer here, especially at Phillip Island. I think he does quite well. A few times I've raced with him. Should be in for an exciting drive also tonight.
Kyle is very fast. Trying to see where Kyle is currently.
Sitting in position 10. I think someone's just come up.
He's just snuck in. He's just snuck into 10. He's only a recent. He's just turned up tonight.
Someone who has just stuck into the top. Someone who's just stuck into the top 10 in position 2, Nick Cummings.
Cummings, no surprises there. Nick Cummings. He's still out on track. Driving the Ford. Made car 400 was certainly quick tonight. 129.6. He's 2.5 tenths off the current pole sitter. But we are still in practice. Nick's just come back out now. You know, we're 44 minutes into practice. There's a lot of cars out there putting a lot of rubber down. Now would be a good time to get out there and try and beat your better lap. And there'd be a good opportunity to do it. The track's certainly getting a little grippier, I'd imagine there, Dan.
Yeah, there'll be certainly guys out there with their qualify setups right now getting ready for qualify session. Now that track's got some rubber down. Just having a look at it, Josh Drag on the screen on the HSV livery tonight, sitting in position 13. Richard Skender in position 15 so far in practice.
Richard's somebody to keep an eye on. Yeah, he certainly will be a top 10 runner tonight unless something happens. Dave Douglas, another guy. You know, there's the top 15, which are all easily top 10. So it's pretty competitive up there at the moment.
Greg Hamilton's just sitting outside the top 15 in position 16 at the moment. Very quick, consistent, always finishes races, finishes well. Maybe hasn't quite shown his best lap time around here yet, but mid-pack runner, and sometimes comes away with a top 5 or a top 10 easily in these races.
Mate, I think Greg in the first series of races for Venom finished in the top 3, did he not, overall, through consistency?
I think that was the case, that's right.
Oh, he's blown his motor.
Oh, must have downshifted a little early coming into that turn 1.
Whoa, he's gotten a bit scared coming into 1 down the main straight. And he's grenaded it. Cole, when that little needle goes into the red, that's not good.
No, especially if you slip 2 gears down into that corner, you'll blow the engine. Anthony Levitt at the moment, position 18.
Oh,
he's just not quite a good lap for him.
Again, Anthony, fast, you know, 16 for him currently. Or is he 17, sorry?
He's moved into 18th at the moment. Speaking of Mr. Consistency himself, Cookie, always here for the races, always there till the end, always in there with a sneaky chance sometimes at a good result.
Seriously, Cookie's put a 131.9 down. He's in position 20.
No slouch of a time.
It's no slouch of a time. Cookie's very fast around here, and that put him in 20. So, mate, the pace is on. We've got 40 cars applied tonight. 35 out there cutting laps. So.
Jake Vella, another person to watch. Probably hasn't put down his best time yet, but I know he is quick. Also have Jackson Harlow, back in 24th at the moment with a practice time, 1:32. I am noticing that, like I was saying before, you know, they'll squeeze a 1:32 out of these cars. I'm down to position 25 here, and we're looking at 1:32s. This is a very fast field tonight.
Mate, the pace is on tonight. Venom series is certainly hot. If you sneak on the car in position, car number 8 in position 28, bring some new livery to the circuit tonight. Some Australian promotional sponsorship from the Northern Territory, it looks like, Dan.
Something from my neck of the woods. That's right.
Yeah.
We will see you in the NT.
That would be it.
Was it see you next time?
See you next Tuesday.
The one?
I think Jack Ray could be a caring, understanding, nurturing type with that sort of livery.
Great looking car, actually. I'm glad you brought that to our attention with the Indigenous artwork on it. Something special.
I think it's the first time we've seen that. He's going to go off the track down the main straight, and he's going to total that car.
Oh, that was a hard hit. It's moving back to position 25 at the moment, coming out of pit lane. Ian Willie, running the old Falcon Orcon steel livery.
He's changed sponsors tonight. He's been usually running a Moffat Ford dealer livery. One of the Cobras, I think it was. So yeah, he's had a sponsor change for tonight's event.
Pulled out the big guns and dragged out a new car for tonight.
Yes, it looks that way. It does look that way.
Wade Michael in the Bottle-O livery tonight. Winterbottom, the Frosty, sitting in position 26 so far for practice. We've got another 11 minutes to go.
Mate, that's no surprise. You've got to get rid of that livery. Although Davey Reynolds, I think, did it proud a few times in the Bottle-O. I think we've still got a little bit left for Frosty, but yeah, great looking car.
Having a look at Rhino Hire. Brendan Ryan on track at the moment. Position 29. Now, maybe he hasn't put down his best lap. There's still some more to come from him.
Mate, there's always a little bit left for Brendan. Another great looking car.
Another new name for the Venom series. Steve Rogers is joining us tonight.
Steve Rogers. Steve's currently in 30th with a 1:33.3.
Always very keen to get out here on the track. Loves his sim racing. He's got a really good simulator and he builds a lot of it himself. Homemade shifter, homemade handbrake, fully customised G27 steering wheel triples, built his own computer out of bits and pieces and parts. Does it all himself, so just to get out here on the track, it's a big effort and he does well.
Mate, Steve's hardware is awesome, and as you say, fabricates everything himself, and certainly is consistent. He's building up some good times. Yeah, but no, mate, he's got some awesome gear, and he's always here, and he put it together, yeah, for sure. I like his shifter and his handbrake. Seen a few new additions. iRacing released the Rallycross cars, and next minute Steve showed us what he'd built for a handbrake. So it sits right next to his sequential.
Done well, and there's nothing like being strong. It's dynabolted to his concrete floor. It's not going anywhere.
Mate, and when I think about as Steve has come over Lukey Heights, he's lost it through the hairpin, or he's taken quite a nice line through the hairpin. Unfortunately, there'll probably be a small time penalty for that. But, consistent guy, gets out of your road, good driver. He's good to have around.
In the Fujitsu Falcon tonight, Jim Dilios. Jim, another consistent player here with the Wheelybins. Here for many of our races. Always out there to have a go. Great clean racer, great to race around.
Is that Riley Curtis or Dave Douglas who overshot the hairpin? Oh, and Jim, as I say, that Jim's lost it, and he's getting it back together. Bit of bad luck there. He might have been put off by the car I saw off at the hairpin. Anyway,
can be a tough corner in that hairpin. Put the power down a bit too early, and the back will step out on you.
Mate, it was Dave Douglas, and he's off again at the left-hander going around the hay shed. Stuck on the embankment, car position 16.
A Number 34 is another West End Mazda entry, Cody Borsha. Part of the West End Mazda team. There's a few of them entries here tonight. Certainly going to give the rest of the guys a shake-up. There's no doubt they've got some great team plays in place.
Cody's on his second lap, so he's flying at the moment as he comes across the finish line.
And Len Williams, sitting in number 36 at the moment, the Monster Energy car.
1:31 for Cody on his second flying lap up the inside of Jimmy through turn 1. I'm quite sure if you're still watching car 36 there, Dan.
I had just switched away from it actually. We were just taking a look at Len Williams in number 36 and Vincent running the true blue Wheelybins livery here tonight. Represent. Unfortunately, Vincent has a few internet issues. Dropping in and out there a little bit. Hopefully it'll pick up and he can stick around for the race tonight.
Car 91, I see some Limelight Motorsport sponsorship on the back of that car there, Dan.
Yeah,
and on the side.
Always happy to help out. Vincent also got great licenses, loves oval, does great in the rallycross and a bit of dirt. He dabbles in a bit of everything. And, a bit of an all-rounder.
Is he on his P's? Really?
He's on his P's in real life.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's got his green P plate on tonight.
Someone else who's just stepped out on the track in the Castrol car was a Gilbanks, one in the old Larry Perkins livery on that Commodore. I did just see another vehicle there that had a New Zealand livery. I didn't get the name as I was scrolling through.
See car number 11, 977, supporting the car 11 Castrol Dunlop livery from the Larry Perkins days. Oh, and who's that come out in the Vodafone car? I was going to say it's got to be Rodney Phillips. Car 25, he's on his 15th, currently in P5. He's just moved.
The top 10's had a bit of a shuffle around while we've been scrolling through the pack. Still up the top.
Nice to scroll through the pack. A lot of regular Wheelybins contenders here tonight for the Venom series. It's great to see, Dan.
Yes, so the format for tonight is we have the first race up shortly. We've got 5 minutes remaining in practice. We've got a 10-minute qualifier session, and then it will be a 17-lap race. From that 17 laps, the top 10 will be reverse grid for a second race. For 22 laps and a compulsory pit stop. So 2 races here tonight at the Island and the Phillip Island Super Sprint. Here on Wheelybins TV, brought to you by the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. Thanks to our great sponsors, West End Mazda and Limelight Motorsport.
Mate, and thank you, Dan, for putting this together. I know you do a lot of work on the production as well as the overlays for the streaming, and mate, looks great. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I've put a bit of time and a bit of a learning curve, and also thank you to you, Pete, for joining me here in the commentary box and not being out there on track.
Oh, I'm so keen to be out there on track as I see Steve go over the embankment in the background while I'm watching car 97. Mate, there's a lot. It's a nice track. It's a great car. There's a lot of good competitors out there tonight. The fastest guy may win. The most consistently fastest guy will win. So there's the opportunity for the people who just keep it together to finish in a good position, because the guys that go fast are going to be trying to go fast, which opens the door for mistakes. So great night out there tonight.
4 minutes remaining in this practice session.
Mind you, with 40 cars out there, Dan, it's a bloody nice place to be in the commentary box tonight and not out there with those maniacs.
It is, as we see Duran had a big off as he come down the straight and was reversing for most of the way down the main straight there.
The wharf is merging like a Queensland tourist on the freeway on the M1. Thankfully not. I like to see people going backwards down the main straight.
No. We've just seen Jordan have a big off coming down into the hairpin. Just once again a little bit of grass. Actually, sorry, that was around turns 3 there. Sorry, forgive me, I can't remember the names of these corners on this circuit. I did have a map of it, but I can't find it at the moment. As I could just hear Peter Googling that there in the background.
I was going, oh, maybe you can hear me Googling that. Mate, I reckon I might know 50% of the turns, and if I'm lucky. So, sorry about that for everybody listening, me typing in the background. That will be my thermal take keyboard. It's quite noisy, but it's quite effective as well.
So that's one hell of a mechanical keyboard you've got there.
Yeah, no, it's good. I've got a few options, and I like it. You ever been to Phillip Island, Dan?
No, haven't been there in real life.
Been down there a couple of times. Awesome place. Beautiful circuit, great facility, wonderful place. Horribly cold at times.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that cold weather, although most of Australia's been having quite warm weather at the moment. It's just another day for us.
Yeah, no, I'm Brizzy, and spent a bit of time, mate. I travel around the country a bit for work, so I understand the different temperatures. But currently, Brisbane, you know, it's hot and humid today.
Makes for a welcome change, I suppose. You can get out and enjoy the Gold Coast and Brisbane area a little bit more when the weather's a little finer.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's when it's busy and it's not that enjoyable. As we see Thomas, I'm just recapping a couple of things that happened. Thomas off at turn 1.
Yeah.
Oh, and there we go. We've got Hot Dog doing some moves down the main straight too. I've just noticed.
He did just have a big spin as catch him around on a replay there. Come around that last corner.
Oh! Never a good way to merge onto the main straight at Phillip Island.
That'll send Hot Dog back to the pits anyway, no doubt, with a bit of a stove into the wall. Running another retro livery there, the 71, the mobile Holden Racing team. Great looking car.
Nice VZ-ish hero, I guess, around the mid-2000s. Mate, we've got a minute to go for practice. Currently we've got Dane Warren with a 1:29.3, and that time stood for the last 20 minutes, so that's going to be pretty hard to beat. Nick Cummings in 2 with a 1:29.6. The Wolf Duran, a 1:29.66 in 3rd. Harley Haber at 1:29.8. Thomas McMillan snuck in there now with a 1:33. Oh, sorry, 1:30 flat. 1:33 for Rodney Phillips. Got Jacob McKnight is next with a 1:33.35 in 7. Jamie McKnight in 8th, who's currently out there at the moment. And he's got one of the West End boys chasing him, Jordan chasing him. And actually for a lap time, because Jordan is currently 9th on a 1:30.4 after Jamie. And the Panther rounds out the 10, the 1:30.44.
So exciting times there. It's going to be a very interesting qualifying session. All these cars out here on the track for a 10-minute qualifier. It's going to be hard to find some track space to put a lap down, so the times probably won't be quite as quick in qualify. It'll be very interesting as we come into the final second of practice.
Oh, we've got Mayhem in the pits at the moment. There's donuts and burnouts, and everyone's having a great time.
There's Mayhem and burnouts here, Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. The clock's actually gone for 20 minutes in the qualify session by the looks, so while the cars...
We've got the field. Look at the field. The field is exiting the pits.
While the cars head out on track and get a few warm-up laps happening, we'll come right back to qualifying. We'll just take this little break. Welcome back. You are here on Wheelybins TV, hosted by the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. A little bit of a teaser there, I suppose, from some shenanigans that went on around Mount Panorama a week or so ago, where we had a massive crash coming up into the cutting there, moving around the mountains. I think there was about 15 cars involved. It was an absolute massive crash. I'm not sure if you were there for that one, Peter. As Peter may have ducked off to refresh his drink. Anyway, we're into the qualifying session. 18 minutes here. Guys are out there setting some times. Like we said before, it's going to be quite hard to find your piece of track and set a time down with so many vehicles here registering for tonight's race. Certainly a lot of competitors, and one of our probably biggest sessions we've had here in the Venom division, the Venom series. Harley was the first one out of pit lane and set the fastest time so far with a 1:33. No doubt that was just a warm-up lap for him. Guys will go out, get some heat into these tyres, run some fuel out. Normally after 3 laps the cars are ready to go for a hot lap and a go at the position number 1 here in qualify. Have a look at the roof on the screen. Definitely a contender for pole position, winning the 888 All-Star entry tonight. Someone we haven't looked at yet, the Chief Shane Evans. Put down a 1:31 so far, running the Shane Evans Power Falcon tonight. Great looking car, very well customised. Welcome back, Pete. We're just going through some qualifying. See Jordan, big hit off through the gravel pit and into the tyres. Fair bit of damage there to that West End Mazda car. The miracle of sim racing. You can escape back to the pits and new car and on you go. Dane Warren set the fastest lap so far in qualifying with a 1:29.1. Very quick lap there for him, certainly setting the pace straight away, laying the line down for the other guys to follow. Oh, as we see number 33, Frank Speed, big lock up there into the hairpin. With 5 minutes just into the qualifying session, these guys aren't being slouches about laying down some times. Dane sitting there up there in position 1, Duran number 2, Harley number 3. Nick in number 4, number 5, Thomas McMillan, number 6, Jamie McKnight. Kyle Stokes in number 7, Rodney Phillips number 8, Cody Bosher position 9, and the Chief Shane Evans just in the top 10. Welcome back, Pete, to the commentary box. Fantastic potato internet, I hear.
Mate, yeah, just had my NBN drop out. So, unfortunately, some people who have the NBN do realise that that is a common occurrence. Thankfully for me, it isn't. So,
yeah,
but it does happen.
Certainly hit and miss around the countryside. I'm lucky enough to have fibre for the premise where I am, and brilliant. Some of the best internet I've ever seen. You know, I get my maximum speeds and no problems with dropouts. So I guess
Mate,
I'm the lucky one.
That's wonderful. And I guess it depends on where you are and how many people use your internet and what your infrastructure is like, depending on who was in government at the time. Sorry, mate, I'm just trying to get my racing back up.
That's okay, no problem. So, having a look at the top 10 at the moment, but Dwayne Warren sitting there in number 1. He set the fastest time already with a 1:29.1. That's a screaming lap.
2/10 faster than his practice time.
Unbelievable. He really went out there with the rockets on that Rat Culp car and was going to set the line in the sand right there and then. Put his mark on this race with that lap time.
A lot of these guys run around together. They, although they would not expect Dane to do something like that, he likes to stamp his foot down early to psychologically be in front. One would imagine.
Makes a big difference in a race with this many competitors tonight to be up the pointy end of the grid, because shenanigans can and sometimes does happen down the back of the pack and can put a big dent in your evening for the race.
Mate, the back of the pack certainly grows when you're one of the 2 or 3 cars in the front 2 rows of the grid there, Dan. So yeah, certainly a great spot to start this race. And turn 1 is interesting any day.
It is, especially straight down there off the start. Big gaggle of cars into that turn 1, all on cold tyres, struggling for traction but trying to keep maximum speed. Always a bit of
big gaggle of hungry cars.
Right. Scrolling back through the pack, Dave Douglas currently sitting in position 14. A little bit loose as he comes around that bend towards the hairpin. Don't forget, if you are watching us on YouTube tonight, say something in our live chat comments there on YouTube. Let us know you're there. Maybe you've got a favourite racer in the race tonight, and we can give them a little bit more airtime just because you're watching. You know, Tyson, who's actually, I haven't seen him make it onto the track tonight for tonight's race. Has some fans around the world. One of our regulars missing tonight.
No, he's not there, mate. Busy qualifying. We've got 1 minute to go of qualifying. As you mentioned, on 1 to 1:29.1 for Dane. The Wolf Duran in 2 with a 1:29.5. Thomas McMillan 1:29.6. Harley's up there with a 1:29.7. So now we've got 5 cars in the 1:29s because we've got Nick Cummins at a 1:29.8. Kyle Stokes in 6, a 1:30.1. Jamie McKnight 1:30.3 and 7. So, you know, 7 cars in under a second. Jacob McKnight a 1:33.9. Rodney Phillips a 1:35. Corey in 10 with a 1:30.8. The Panthers just out of the 10 with a 1:39. So yeah, so we've got 40 cars. Yeah, 40 cars into tonight, and 33 of them put a lap down.
Back to position 17 so far in the qualify stats. Mikhail, all the way from Sweden, a Swedish racer, a regular in the PayPal entry tonight. Always likes fighting his way back from the back of the pack. Very clean racer. Well, some of the cleanest racing person you would want to race around on most circuits. Always leaves enough room.
As he runs a little wide. He's got his scary face on.
He does. He's got his scary helmet on. I'll see if we can zoom in there and have a bit of a closer look at it.
Oh, he's got the pace of a SpaceX rocket into the hairpin.
We have a bit of a close-up at the front of Mikhail's car there, looking at his helmet with the Halloween inspired, I suppose you would say.
Mate, I'm it's Halloweenish for sure.
You don't
Mate,
want to see that in your rear view mirror.
No, you don't. I think that's part of the reason why he does it. Once again, mind games. These guys are playing with each other. Everybody's out there having a good time. It's just for fun, but you know, there's nothing more fun than putting someone else just by wearing a scary face on your helmet.
The car we were looking for earlier, Stuart Pedersen, was one we didn't get to look for, running a New Zealand livery with the New Zealand Fern. quite a statement on his back bumper there saying what he thinks about the person behind him. Pass left, pass right, and dillygaff. Very great looking car there, the black and white.
Yeah, Stuart always worries me with his Maori bonnet when he's behind me.
Can be a little worrying. Someone else we didn't go through before, Brad Trott. I'm pretty sure he's a new member here with the Wheelybins, so one of his first Venom races.
The Trottster's given space to Richard, who's up the inside. Yeah, no, nice to see he's out there circulating, giving each other a little bit of room. As well, mate, we do have 20 minutes, sorry, of qualifying. You're right when you said that before. Again, I didn't look or believe you. Sorry about that, Dan.
That's quite alright, because sometimes my numbers play games.
Well, I thought that, and I just assumed we were going to finish at 10, but we're into 12, so we must be going for 20. Brad Trott here with a 1:33.1.
Stuart
currently 32nd position.
Stuart Castley in the cleanaway entry tonight, getting in position 18. Looking fantastic also.
That's a great looking car. Another very, very nice car.
But he's also been a big supporter of the Wheelybins last year with the free ticket giveaway to Mount Panorama for the Bathurst 1000.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Dan. I was going to say clean away, and Stuart have been very generous to Wheelybins and the Wheelybins members, and we had a lot of members up at Bathurst for the 1000, and also quite a few going up for the 12-hour in February. But yeah, no, great advocate of the Wheelybins. Nice. Stuart is currently in position 19 with a 1:31.7.
Another person we didn't speak about earlier, Rob Dennis, one of the PPG livery. Another New Zealand flag on the top there, so a few drivers from across the Tasman here tonight.
Look, Rob's he's a fast driver. He's only in 17 with a 1:31.6, and he is at a club level. He's very fast. So I guess it just shows the pace here tonight and the calibre of driver that have turned up for the Venom series.
Some very quick times, but no one's got near.
Car 42's off.
Because we just see him have a big off moment coming into that corner there.
Through the hay shed. Worked out better than a lot of people who have come unstuck there, so well done keeping that together, and he's off again at the hairpin.
Having a little trouble with the setup on that car, I'm guessing. It looked like there was a lot of understeer coming into that turn.
Well, look, we're getting close to 5 minutes left in qualifying. Everybody's out there now on a their last set of fresh tyres for qualifying as he comes in. Car 42, mate, 5 minutes to go. This is the time now. There's a bit more rubber on the track. Get your fuel load down and put in your best time. You really want to qualify in the top 10 because there's 40 cars tonight.
Yeah, so far 36 vehicles have put down a qualifying time. A few more there still to get out and put a lap down, or possibly they're just going to reserve the fact to start from the rear of grid and play it from there.
Mate, 5 cars have just peeled out of the grid, peeled out of the pits. Ian, Quas, the Panther, Josh, Richard, the Skilby. Mate, guys, we've had a little bit of a lose of someone coming out of the pits. Yeah, no, there's plenty of guys are out there for what they think will be their last opportunity to put a lap time down.
Unbelievable times here at the island today, or tonight, this evening, whichever you may be in the world. It's daytime at Phillip Island, as you can see. Just coming into night time where I am, and probably a lot of the eastern seaboard of Australia.
Mate, it's dark over here on the eastern seaboard.
Over probably in Sweden where Mikhail is, it's probably, I think it's his lunch break. He races during his lunch break.
I was going to say it's yeah, it's nearly midday over there.
A lot of the top 10 guys in the pits at the moment set their time. Will they come out for another screamer? We've got 3 minutes to go, so if they want to get out and hit the track, they'll want to get out soon. They can cut off.
Dan, we've got one. And we've got about 15 cars currently out on the track.
Having a look at the Chief, Shane Evans, sitting in position 13 with a 130.9. Just in the 130s. Unusual for him 13. To be unusual for him not to be a little bit further up here at Phillip Island. Anthony Levitt sitting in position 14.
And we've got 14 cars within 2 seconds, so you know, that's sort of giving you an idea why he may be there. But it's been hard to get a lap down, I'd imagine, tonight out there. It's very busy.
It is. It's a very busy track out there, and that's probably the reason why Dwayne went out there straight away and stamped his feet in the mark and set down a time early on. Had some clean air straight up, put the mark down. And
boy, what a time. 129, 186. No one's...
Unbelievable.
The Wolf's close. We're 3/10 off.
3/10 is a lot of time when you're looking at only a second between the top 6, so...
Yeah. Once again, you know, around here it can be pretty obnoxious on tyres. We saw last year with the V8 supercars, 14 exploded tyres over the weekend.
It is very hard on that right rear tyre, and the left rear tyre on that turn 1, but the right rear really keeps it painting around a lot of the other turns. High load and a high acceleration.
Mate, it's one thing to be fast, but you've got to be nice on your gear, which I'm not saying Dane isn't. Dane's a good driver, super fast and keeps it together. But anything can happen. A lot of laps, Dan. Well, this is a sprint race, no pit stops, so there isn't really any opportunity to fix your car if anything happens. 17 laps, we'll get over. You know, we'll be done within half an hour, so it's just a quick sprint.
It is. So having a good qualified position is very vital for this race. But everybody pushing. This is the Venom race where a little bit of argy-bargy within racing rule reason is allowed, so anything can happen tonight.
Yeah, Dan, and look, mate, it's interesting. We put the Venom series together to let people off the leash, let's say, for a little bit more argy-bargy, pushy, shovey. But everybody has approached these races carefully. You know, they're trying to go fast. The competition's there. Everyone wants to win. You know, there's great prizes on the line, but everybody's showing a lot of respect, which is good to see. So, you know, you can niggle and pushy, but we don't want to see people driving competitors off, because if you have 2 damaged cars, well, then that's just slow, isn't it?
That's right. There's no fun out there being parked in pit lane. Although we have seen many barbecues and beer eskies out the back of pit lane tonight, so who knows, there could be a few plans for some after parties or premature parties if things go wrong.
Dan, you and I have both been to barbecues in pit lane while a race is on, just watching the pack circulate. Mate, the pressure's off, the company's good, and mate, it's unfortunately a good time, but you never want to be there.
As we reach the end of our qualifier session, warm down 2 minutes remaining on this session, but the cars that are out there are the last cars that will put the qualifier lap down.
Well, we've got Len finishing a lap, Jordan, Jimmy. Well, they've actually just gone there. They may have just started a lap before the time ran out.
They may have just squeezed that in. I think Len might have been the last one through.
Skilby's out there. He's in 31. He's trying to get a better lap time. Skilby certainly, he's better than 132.8. Brennan behind him. He's in 33. He's also trying to get a better lap time in. Cody is on his time. He's in 10. 137. It's not a bad lap time. And they're the last cars circulating that can put one down. Oh, but Cody's gone a bit sideways and he's into the pits, hopefully. Skilby down the main straight across the line to finish his lap.
Hasn't made an improvement on that, but consistency could win it for him.
Well, he did. No. Skilby to 25 with a 131.9.
Nice. Good work.
That's put him up 6 spots. Brendan took to a 29, so Brendan's put his fastest lap of a 132.7 down and put him into position 29. So they were both above 30. So it definitely paid off for them. But if you look who's behind in 30, we've got Hot Dog, Jake Vella. He's fast. He must have had a problem. Ian, another fast driver. There's a whole bunch of guys down there that down to 37. So we've got 43 cars entered tonight.
Going to be a very quick race, so if you just want to run through the top 10 qualified positions there for us, we'll go to a quick break and then we'll be back for the race.
Well, we do. We've got a couple of minutes before the race. People will start to grid up in the next 60 seconds. So in pole was Dane Warren with a 129.1. 2 was Duran the Wolf. Thomas McMillan's currently in 3rd. Harley Harbour in 4. Nick Cummings 5. Kyle Stokes is in 6. 7's Jacob Knight. 8 Jamie McKnight, and he got into the 8. Rodney Phillips is 9 with Cordy Bircher in 10. Jordan, Eugene, the Chief in 13. Josh, Drag, Anthony Levitt and Dave Douglas 15, 16. Mikhail 17, 18 Robert Dennis. Richard Skender is in 19. Mate, they're all top 10 drivers. Stuart Carsley in 20 with a 131.7. Gilly, Warren Gilbanks in 21. We've got Cookie at a 131. David Trevan in 23. Greg Hamilton's in 24 with a 131.9. 139.99. Skilby in 25. Jackson Harlow, 26. 27 is Wade. Jack Gray in 28. Brendan Ryan's in 29. And Frank Speed cuts out the top 30 drivers out of the 42 drivers who have entered tonight with a 132.8. So good luck, guys. We are about 60 seconds away from the start.
Fantastic. It's going to be a great race. You are tuned into Wheelybins TV, hosted by the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. This is the Venom series. Great prizes on offer thanks to West End Mazda and Limelight Motorsport. If you want to be a part of iRacing, you can head on to our website and get some more information, wheelybinsandmayhemrepublic.com. Point you in the right direction to get yourself signed up with some iRacing and plenty of action. We are here at Phillip Island this evening for the Super Sprint races. Huge grid as we have a look down the grid. Lots of cars here tonight. It's going to make for a very, very interesting race.
Mate, we're close to go down. I'll let you call the first 60 seconds of this and I'll just watch and mate, exciting stuff. Here we go.
Yes, the countdown is on. The revs rise. Ready for go, go, go. And we're off. Great start for the front runners. We'll have a look down towards the back to see how much there is some smoke off the field. Down into that first corner, which we knew was going to be a little bit treacherous. Everybody giving each other a lot of room. That's great to see. Down around to the back of the pack. Doesn't look like there was much incident at all. Everybody seems to have made it through. Making our way back. That's
great stuff.
Awesome playing to see all these vehicles all giving each other a little bit of space.
There's plenty of pressure off the start though. Turn 1. Yeah, everyone's being very, very sporting like.
2 and 3 wide into that hairpin. As we have into that hairpin, we've got a couple of cars off. It looks like Russell Boardman is tied up into that. A little bit of a spin, just the 2 vehicles involved by the looks in that hairpin as they make their way up towards the hay shed now.
Cold tyres, everybody certainly, although they're trying to give each other a bit of space, no one wants to give anybody.
Have another big off, trying to see who that was back further. A couple of cars, my apologies, I didn't see who that was. So might send 2 vehicles run up into the wall.
And as we're coming onto the start finish line to finish our first lap, our first flying lap. It's a bit of excitement.
So at front we have Dane Warren. Great times. He's got himself out in front, got himself a gap of a second and a half. No doubt he plans on staying exactly that way for the rest of the race. Harley sitting there in second, Thomas in third, Nick Cummings fourth, Kyle Stokes in fifth. These are...
Harley and Thomas is having a bit of a crack. Thomas isn't letting up on Harley. He snuck through on lap one. The hairpin. Good pressure. The tyres pulling up a bit. That wasn't a bad lap one there, Dan.
That was a very clean lap one and a lot less controversy and penalties. Everyone gave each other some space and very good. These are some of the fastest guys you've seen on iRacing at the top.
They are, and car 57, mate, he's off. He's pulled 1.2 on these guys. He's 2 seconds now. Harley and Thomas, who are pushing. Harley's not driving defensively yet, but they've got to remember that these guys have Nick Cummings pulling up, so we've got 2, 3 and 4 in a bit of a battle. The Wolf, 6. Kyle sort of catching those guys at 5. We've got Jamie McKnight at 7, who's just catching Kyle. Panther in 8. Nice work from the Panther. 9 is Josh Drag. He snuck up there. And Shane Evans in 10. So Chiefs into the top 10.
Another mover and shaker out of that was Vincent. Move up to position 15.
Skilby. Nice work, Skilby into 1.5. Behind him, he's got Richard Skender, who's fresh behind you. Stuart Carsley at 17, David's in 18, Len Williams at 19, and Greg Hamilton rolls out to 20. And these guys are good spread now, the cars. Everybody's just settling down and warming their cars up and made the field spread out nicely. Cookie's got a bit of pressure behind him.
He has. He's got a little bit of damage too to that front right. He may have been caught up in those couple of spins that he had been on. His pace, you see Len step off the track there at the hairpin.
Just ran wide. He's back on now. He's dropped in to about 24, 25.
There's Wade Michael in one of those spins at the start. Lost his bonnet there in the Bottle-O entry. Jake Vella also with a fair bit of damage to the front of that super cheap vehicle. Steve Rogers still running a clean car back in 32nd. Michael brings him out of the tyre. May have been the one that ran off just over Lukey Heads by the looks. Bit of damage to the front of that vehicle.
Okay, the sprint race, we don't have the opportunity to fix our car, but his car's not too bad. I think we've all driven the car in that state ourselves, so and he's in 33 at the moment. We've got Stuart Penderson. 34, he's going slow it looks. Jacob is in 35, so he must have been in the first hairpin accident with Russell Boardman, who's back in 36. Jimbo, he got pushed wide in 37. But out in front, we've got a big battle for second here at the moment between Harley, Thomas and Nick Cummings. And as we've just seen, Harley.
Bit of a tap there from Thomas. Thomas gave him space to get back through, but of course that's not Nick Cummings through.
And Thomas redressed, but Nick wasn't waiting, and now we've got a battle of about 6 cars in that pack. That's helped the Wolf, Kyle Stokes, and Jamie McKnight just hanging in there. He'll end up on the back of this pack. Oh, and here we go into the hairpin again.
It was looking like it was going to go 2 to 3 wide there. Harley looked like he might have been going to slip down the inside.
Oh, is that Jamie's just gone wide. Kyle went sideways and he's pushed Jamie wide. Panther is now going to be on his tail. And Kyle in 6 has just a little breathing space. Oh, that settled down. It was going to get exciting there, or it did get exciting there for a moment.
It did unfortunately look like a little bit of net code, unfortunately. They're taking Jamie off the track. But a little bit of damage to the front of that vehicle still shows there may have been contact. Yeah, that's right, Eugene the Panther sitting in position 8. Hot on the tails of Jamie now, who will put the pressure on. No doubt he's had a couple of whiskies tonight to gain that focus. And
behind those guys, you've got the Chief up the inside of Josh. So we've got another little bit of a war pack here with Josh and Anthony, the Chief, Jordan, and Mikhail. Mikhail bringing it up the rear, you might say.
A little bit loose in the rear. Mikhail.
It's a lot
Loose in the rear.
Pushing that PayPal car. You know, he's obviously he's only got, he needs to finish this race. He's racing in his lunch break. You know, he's 8 hours behind us currently.
Bit of a race on down the back. Rodney Phillips down to 17th, racing with Greg Hamilton and Frank Speed. Pushing these guys. Looks like Greg's got a bit of damage to his vehicle, so does Frank. I didn't see Rodney back this far.
I'm just having a look at myself. Yeah, something's happened to push him back to that position.
No damage to the vehicle unless he has actually had to make a pit stop.
Down the inside. Well, honestly, as we said, the pace has been pretty fierce at the front. He's down 9 spots from his qualifying, so he's run wide or something's happened. But Greg's not going to let up.
Cody Bush has also been in for a 50-second pit stop as well. Must have had some heavy damage to that car, fighting his way back up. Currently sitting in position 20.
Oh, that's a big penalty.
He's done well to recover though. Still on the lead lap, position 20 after 56 seconds in the pits. Not too bad. He's working real hard now to get his positions back.
Mate, he's got 7 cars right in front of him, so probably do okay. What are we on? Lap 6?
17 minutes remaining. We should just have a look at
Ryan Cook is wide. Cody's picked another one up.
Vincent's also picked up a lot of damage there as well, just ahead of Cookie. No boot lid, no spoiler. That will be hurting the performance of that car for Vincent.
Oh, Vinny was in Skilby was in a quick. Oh, look. On these tracks, he's actually got good pace still. Position 19. Frank Speed in front of him. Hot Dog's missing his bonnet. Greg's got a little bit of left-hand front damage, and Stewart's pulling away. Rodney Phillips has just taken Stuart Carsley for 15.
Rodney's had maybe a little bit of a jump start or something like that, setting back, fighting his way back now.
Oh, we've got the Panther, Kyle and Jamie through traffic.
Another name that we didn't get to look at earlier, Matthew Belton, just a new member tonight actually to join for the Venom series, sitting back in position number 24, WPC concreting car.
Oh really, it's like only 30 seconds behind. 24. That sort of shows the space out of the cars this evening. Everybody's within a second behind each other. There's a few little groups happening. Dane's trucking off out in front. He's got 6 seconds over Nick Cummings in second. And then we've got Harley Thomas in a battle with the Wolf. The Wolf's gone off over Lukey Heights. He's back on the track behind Jamie McKnight. The Wolf was in 5. That'll put him back to 6. So he only lost 1 spot out of that. Well, fast place to go off and bring it back together.
Jamie will be quite happy about that, to gain that position into the top 5, and he'll be working really hard now to keep the Wolf behind him.
If we keep the Wolf away, he'll be real. He'll be looking to see what's in his revision mirror right now. As the Wolf tries to stick it up the inside of 1, Jamie won't have a bar of it. Pushes through and even pulls a bit of gaps him a little bit. Nice move. Oh, just to show the pace behind. Those two are driving. Kyle's run wide, just trying to keep up with them, and the Panthers edging closer in 8th. Oh, a Chief back there for 9. He's just taken. He's around Jimmy laps at the moment, but the Chief's there in 9. He's not far behind, and Josh is in 10, coming around the back markers, and we've got Jordan and Mikhail round out the 12. Mate, they're all in 20 seconds of the leader.
very good race, but I mean, we're talking 7 seconds gap out the front to Dane now between him and Nick Cummings. As Dane's starting to come along, some of the lap vehicles now just going on the inside there of Steve Rogers. 7 seconds is a huge leap out in a race of only 17 laps.
Well, that was last lap. Let's see what it is when he crosses the line as he comes down the start-finish straight to finish his 8th lap. Okay, the clock's ticking. It was 7 seconds last time round. 7.3 to Nick. And Harley's pulling in there. Harley's sort of staying with these two. That 3 seconds to Nick sort of being consistent. Harley's pulled away a little bit from Thomas. Got about a car length away from his last lap. So it's half a second. Jamie's pulled out another half a second on the Wolf. Kyle is catching the Wolf. 7. The Panther.
Possibly the Wolf may be having some issues. There was a couple of blinks from him earlier, so hopefully he's not having any net issues, which we can put down to possibly engine failure.
Mate, we're all over the country, we're all over the world. It's amazing that we can all run simultaneously on programs like this. So let's hope he's not having a bit of a ping issue, but mate, but in all honesty, the pace is pretty hot, so maybe that little bit of an off. He's just got to get his rhythm back, and unfortunately, he's got Jamie McKnight and Kyle who are on their rhythm, and it's hard to come back and keep up with them. But he's gapped Jamie again. He's right on his tail, and Kyle's also right on his tail. So, mate, the pressure's not off. Car 027 for sure.
Kyle will be wanting to sit on the bumper of Duran there, and hopefully follow him through on the pass on Jamie and pick up the spot as well.
Hey, we're about halfway, just over halfway. And here we go down the main straight with McKnight, Ikora and Stokes for 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's getting tight down there now. But these guys know that, you know, you need to be in front at the last lap. So Jamie's pace is pretty good. His last lap was a 131. Wolf did a 131.2. Kyle did a 131.297, so 2,000ths of a second quicker. The Panther, the 132, so he's just on.
Wolf's just had a big spin. I think there might have been a nudge there from Kyle. We'll just have a look at that on the replay as they come into that hairpin.
Well, the guys are getting back on the track, and it's a little bit exciting. Oh, we've got a whole bunch of position changes happening here after that.
Wolf did dive to the inside there, and yeah, there was just a nudge there, I think, from Kyle. Watching as they come around that corner again on the replay. The Wolf's dived to the inside there, possibly cover for Kyle, but Kyle's gone for the dive down the inside and given the Wolf a bit of a nudge. It's unfortunate.
Mate, it was unfortunate. He has given the Wolf, it looks like he's given the Wolf just a small nudge. Both drivers were on the limit, and that's all it takes. A fraction of a second to brake earlier. Mate, they've regained. They're in 7 and 8. I think they're going to be once we cross the line. But they've got the Chief to deal with now.
They have. They recovered that really well, Everett. Put Shane right dead bang in the middle of them. And the Chief won't be wanting to give up that 8th spot to Kyle, and Kyle's just wanting to get back on the bumper of the Duran. But Jamie McKnight was the big winner out of that. He's skipped away, position 5. Eugene sitting just 3 seconds behind him, giving him a bit of a breather.
Mate, the Panther and the McKnight certainly had a good benefited out of that. And you know, why shouldn't they? They're both driving a solid race. They're keeping very nice lap times around the low 130s, 131. Mate, well done to them. And bad luck to the other guys. But that happens.
That's what the Venom division of Venom series is all about. Hard racing, bumper to bumper, pushing it to the limits, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, unfortunately.
Mate, we've got Thomas and we've got Harley. They're still within 3/10 of each other. Nick's pulled away. He's about 4 seconds. He's got a second on these guys.
Looking at the attitude of Thomas's car actually coming over Lukey Heights, he's really wanting to get that passed on Harley. I think Harley might be slowing him up a little bit. Thomas really, I think, wants to just get by, but trying to find that position, Harley's covering his tracks very well.
Well, one thing in the wheelie bins and in the Venom series, we know car 21's fast, but is he fast over 17 laps? So, whereas one thing is with Thomas is certainly runs consistent laps. So we'll see Harley's very fast, and let's just see if he can keep it together for these his laps tonight in his first sprint race.
Yeah, Thomas is
the first of two.
Certainly making Harley work for that position 3 to keep it, that's for sure.
Mate, Harley probably works well under pressure. I think that's probably the best spot for him. He likes pressure, he can certainly drive, and he's showing us again tonight that Thomas is not letting up.
A couple of lap cars. We've got Russell Boardman coming up in front of Harley there, so this is, we'll see if Russell gives him room to pass cleanly. May give Thomas a little bit of an advantage if he can slow Harley up a little bit.
It's hard to let two cars pass around that back end of the circuit as they come over Lukey Heights into the hairpin.
It will be tight. Hopefully maybe they'll sit behind him until they get down the straight. You see Russell take quite a defensive line of that corner, but does pull to the outside and let them through on the inside.
Right. Good work, Russell. Nice work. Even when somebody's considerate, still it's given Thomas a little bit of a catch-up, but mate Harley's coming onto the start-finish straight, and he's got the right foot planted, and a nice exit, actually. Harley probably pulled 3/10 out of that.
He did. I think Harley got the cleaner pass, and Thomas may have hesitated a little bit out of that corner. Didn't get the power down as early as he wanted to. Jamie McKnight's picked up a second and a bit also on those two. Whether that's going to be enough, we're on lap number 13 now of the 17-lap race. But position 5, very respectable, especially with the top 10 being reverse grid for the second race. He'll be in P5.
well, it's probably a great spot to finish today's sprint race, and be a great spot to start the longer one compulsory pit stop 22-lap race, which comes up after about a 10-minute break.
During that break, we've got a bit of a special video to show you guys that are on the broadcast watching tonight. Bit of mayhem that happened last night with V8 supercars and GRC rally. Quite interesting. That's coming up during the break of the two races.
Dan, I'm confused. Did the V8s turn up to the wrong circuit, or did the circuit book the wrong cars? I don't know what happened last night, but it's an exciting short race. It'll be at the interval of tonight's 2-round sprint series.
Yeah, well, to see a V8 supercar taking GRC jumps is quite the sight to see.
Fine on the tarmac. I can't imagine it's very good on the dirt, but at a well-used dirt track was fine, and as long as you've got good right foot control, mate, it's very exciting. So that's coming up shortly. But on that note, we're coming down to the money session of the sprint race. We're down to sort of 3 laps to go, and everybody's been very well behaved. You know, we've still got 39 cars out there.
That's pretty good. I don't think we've had any retirements yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
Maybe possibly a few. I think we've got Jack Gray possibly sitting in the pits, Steve Rogers, Ian Clash, Ian Willie, Russell Warren Gilbanks in the pits. They're got their feet back on the Eskies, having a beer and a barbecue.
Didn't see those cars as I went past. But what I do see is position 9-10. Jordan's gone past the Chief, and now he's on the back of Kyle. He's on the back of Duran in 7.
The Chief's really going to want to hang on here because he's got McHale hot on his tail, and McHale will be looking for that 10th spot, which will put him at number 1 on the grid for the next race. Now, Shane's really going to want to hang on to that top 10 spot to make sure that he's the one at the pointy end.
Jim Telios is up the levee bank. Having McHale on your tail, I think we should start hashtagging McHale on your tail. That's a worrying thing. He's less than a second from the Chief, and considering he's got to go back to work soon, he'll be pushing hard to finish this race quickly. He's only in his lunch break.
He is. He will be trying to get that position 1, and if he does get that position 10 from Shane, I'm sure he'll be hanging around for the next race.
Yeah, he may ask for an extra hour overtime he may have to do. just to fit him with tonight's Venom series, but mate, he turns up regularly, and he's a good competitor. And fast and fair. What more could you ask for? The Wolf's Kyle's just taken the Wolf. Oh, but hang on, the Wolf's back as we go into Stoner corner. Putting through the southern loop, looked like. So we've had positions change. We've got Kyle. Kyle's taken the Wolf, and the Wolf's now under pressure from Jordan, who's overtaken the Chief, who's back in 10. Coming up to Dave Douglas, who's obviously had a bit of a rough trot. He's been in for repairs, I'd say, to put him in that position.
Dave Douglas, he actually hasn't made a pit stop for this race. Quite a few around him. He must have had a few off tracks, maybe a few spins that have led him to be in this position.
Seems he has some driver's side fender damage there, Dan.
Yeah, he could possibly also have bent steering, which could be affecting his performance, but instead of going to the pits and losing more positions, he's decided to stay out there. Hey,
we've had a change of lead. We've had a position change at the front.
What's happened on there? Dwayne Warren must have had a bit of an incident or something.
Mate, Dane's.
Well, his last lap was only a 1:32, so scrolling back
anyway,
to the events.
On that note, mate, Nick Cummins is in 1 with Dane Warren in 2, Harley Harbour 3, Thomas McMillan is 4, and Jamie McKnight rounds out the top 5.
Well, that was a surprise considering Dane had 8 seconds on him.
They had a bit over 7 seconds. When he has shot off. Oh, he's had a problem down the main straight. Something's happened. Whether it be a gearbox issue. Oh no, Dave Douglas was into the pits then. If I look back, he's come out of 1, and we've seen Dane, I don't know, just ran out of power down the main straight. Yeah, he's had a problem. We're coming down to the last.
We're coming down to 17 now.
We're on the last lap.
Yes. Dane will be looking to get past Nick. He's really working hard. Nick's covering all bases here as they come around this bend and down towards the hairpin. We'll watch for the cover.
Mate, he might have even blinked out. We're on the final lap.
The white flag is out.
And I'm showing lap 17 on my lap counter.
I'm showing lap 17 for the leader, so as you see, one car take a huge big jump there near the 4 and 20 sign.
Nick Cummings in 1. He's overcome car 57, who's obviously had a small issue down the main straight to let him past, and it's settled itself, and he's pushing hard to get him.
Dane tried to push there down the corner, but locked the rears a little bit, got sideways, and has given it away almost to Nick Cummings, our winner for race 1, as he comes around the final corner down the main straight.
Mate, big lead. And we've got Harley Harbour coming out of the last turn in 3 with a 2-second gap from Thomas, followed by Jamie McKnight and 0.27 in 5. The Panther is in 6. Panther's still in 6, and he's followed by the Wolf. The Wolf has gotten back past Kyle. The Wolf is in 6, Kyle in 7, Jordan in 8. 9 would be the Chief. 10 is McHale all over the Chief.
There may have been a bit of a change there towards the end of the race.
A lot of changes at the end of that race.
Yeah, Kyle in 8th, Jordan in 9th, and Shane scraping into 10th on my counter.
Okay, it was 2. We did. We've just had a change in 10th. Oh, again, it was always going to get exciting by the end, and 2 to go, and we had a lead change, multiple changes up at the top 10, with the Chief finishing in the top 10. So we've got Nick Cummings in 1, Dane Warren comes in 2nd, Harley Harbour in 3, Thomas McMillan finished in 4, Jamie McKnight in 027 in 5, Panther Eugene in 6, the Wolf is in 7, Kyle Stokes in 8, Jordan 9, and the Chief rounds out the top 10.
Awesome race. I mean, from the amount of cars we had on the track and the amount of completed people who completed the race is fantastic to see. It's going to make for an interesting race too. 22 laps coming up soon here at Phillip Island.
22 laps with a compulsory pit stop.
And a reverse grid for the top 10, so that will put the Chief Shane Evans on pole position, and our leader of this race, Nick Cummings, back in P10, mixing things up nicely.
Yeah, very exciting. Alright, we'll just sort out where we are and what we're doing, and we'll get ready for the next race then, Dan.
Certainly will.
And I think you're going to show us some footage from last night's V8 Supercars GRC.
We are, courtesy of Vince Skilby. Yeah, thanks for tuning in so far. We'll be back real soon. We're just going to take a quick break while we swap over servers to the next race, and hope you enjoy this little video that we've got lined up for you here on Wheelybins TV. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey guys, welcome to another Wheelybins late night session here at Daytona, along for what was meant to be rallycross Red Bull cars and stuff, but due to a mistake we got V8, so we decided to run the race with the V8. So there's 10 laps of us being very mental on dirt with V8, so sit back and have fun watching. As you can see, it's very, very sketchy on the dirt. As Shane takes the Joker lap. Riley almost running into the back of him there.
I've modified my car so that there's no one on the road either.
Oh fucking deer, and I had to put one of those bloody wheels. This video straightened me up. Yeah, you don't know.
gaggle here. We've got Riley, Shane and Bones. Behind that we have Russell and myself, as Bones takes the Joker lap. And does he get the position? Yes, he did. And Tyson's just cleared off in the back.
Better chance of doing this front and backwards.
Russ takes the Joker and gets in front of me.
Holy shit, how did the women go? I jumped the rail and I'm now on the wrong side of the road. It's been an interesting race to watch. I'm totally gonna save this replay and then record it. I'm the go.
Oh, and Shane goes off out in turn 1 into the wall.
Well, I'm telling you, quicker.
As Riley decides that it's no fun going forward, so he's going to try to do it in reverse. Shane looks like he's adopted the same method as just driving backwards is better.
I can't believe I'm fucking still going. Rear wheel clear helps with the same thing. Ah, sorry mate, you're slow. Why'd you race me? Back flag, please.
Tyson Allwine loose.
Did you get a black flag one?
Oh, the funny thing is, while I'm reversing, then the back reverse still can't change 10 gears.
Kenworth cars. Oh no, the Vodafone cars. Smoking.
Rodney Phillips at my windscreen trying to pass me while I'm going to reverse.
No.
Oh yeah, don't just say that.
What I'm wondering now is if I could like, because I put this up as a tournament session, whether I can now put up another race and transfer all our names over into a new server for a rallycross race.
Oh shit, I'm stuck.
Why not really try?
Well, there'll either be a rallycross server up for the 10 of us in a few minutes, or there'll be another rallycross server up just in the normal, not in the tournament section. So I'll see what I can do.
Can I survive for one more lap?
I wonder if like, that's what I'm wondering, if I can change the cars. You can change everything else, the fuel load and all that sort of stuff, but I just don't know if you can change the actual cars. Keep an eye on the host and I'll see what I can do.
That was fun. The only rallycross session I can win. I did a jump. Must come from all your experience driving a V8 supercar on the dirt. Oh, fucking rip. Do you, Tyson, do you grow up in clay country?
There we have it. In the finish. Dyson doing some burnouts because he won. Turns out he actually won both races. Russ stuck in the jump.
I gotta say, like, I stayed in fifth gear most of the corners.
Tyson giving away his secrets.
I was going between second, third, fourth.
Nice first gear, nice.
Hope you all had fun watching it. See you in the next one.
Red Bull GRC is now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Welcome back to Wheelybins TV, Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. Hosted here. We're back at Phillip Island again. We're just loading into the second session server for our second race this evening here at Phillip Island. It's a reverse grid for the top 10. Should be some exciting racing, that's for sure, with the top 10 guys going to be fighting it out, especially the ones that were up the front. It will now be back in around 8 to 10 position. Shane Evans is going to get the pole position, finishing 10th in the last race. It will be interesting. Welcome back, Pete.
Dan, exciting round, exciting first sprint race. Big changes at the end. Everyone drove a great race. A lot of finishes, minimal incidents. You know, and in the last 2 laps, everyone was pushing hard, and we saw leaders give up the lead after having 7 seconds in front. Made exciting stuff.
It certainly was an exciting race, and I think this race is going to give us even more. 22 laps here, compulsory pit stop, reverse grid for the front runners, so there's going to be a lot of pushing. And of course, the guys that didn't finish in the top 10 further back, they're still fighting for a position here as well, because points are on the line here in the Venom division and the Venom series, and there's prizes up for grabs.
Mate, there are shirts, there's iRacing credits, there's stubby holders. There's bragging rights, which are, you know, for some just as important as a monetary value.
They
we
are.
had definitely. We had 40 cars enter for the first race. Let's see what we have for race 2.
So we've only got 4 minutes remaining here in this warm-up before we step into the race, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we'll be straight into the race. Sorry, mate, there's so much data for us to sift through. If we're quiet for the next couple of minutes, We're just trying to catch up with what everybody's doing.
That was a very hectic ad break. You guys might have watched a funny video by Vinny with the V8 supercars running GRC, but in the background, Mayhem's, ensures, to keep this train on the tracks.
There's a little bit of mayhem going on, but we seem to be with it.
We do. We have it. We're at Phillip Island. We are seeing cars on the track at the moment.
I've seen cars on the track at the moment. We are at Phillip Island, and again, beautiful day. 23 degrees, low humidity. The circuit's rolling over from the track we've been using all day, so it's got plenty of grip.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Stop, less than 50% fuel in the tank. Yeah. Look, this may have a pit stop, but again, it's a sprint race. It's a 2-part sprint race.
Basically, so I'm guessing they've only been given enough fuel to make it to a certain point in the race, and they won't do a pit stop and top up. But it's also important to remember you've got to work your pit stop out to make sure you put enough fuel in to make it to the end of the race, but you don't want to put too much in either, because you're going to be longer in the pit stop, which is going to set you back positions on the track. So there is a little bit of pit strategy to play in this race.
Mate, what are we at, about 200 and a bit litres a second, even to fill it up, so if you throw an extra 5 litres in, you're already 2 seconds off the pace.
Exactly.
And 5 litres is a bit over a lap.
Yes, so we will see some strategy come into play. We could see some people run out of fuel. We could see some people overfill with fuel. We will be keeping a keen watch on the pit stop times.
And I was going to say, we've seen the Panther come out to do a 1:31.1 as the fastest car, but as he's still out circulating trying to better that lap, incoming's at 1:35. He's the fastest car in the warm-up so far. Dave Douglas on a 1:31.7.
Yeah, I wonder how many of them changed their setups from the first race, whether there was any tweaking over the break there before the first and second race. That's normally a Eugene strategy.
Well, I was going to say, you and I have both raced against the Panther, and I'm sure his crew's been worked off their feet through that 10-minute break to this next round.
They would have been worked off his feet, making him another whiskey, for sure.
Dave Douglas is off from the start-finish. Mate, plenty of changes in the Panther.
Jamie McKnight set down the 4th best so far. Dave Douglas even set down a 1:31.7, not too bad there.
Douglas currently 3rd for Dave Douglas. Again, we've got 35 cars already turned.
There was a little bit of controversy in the first race, a little bit of argy-bargy, but maybe not some quite of the cleanest racing manoeuvres, but this is the Venom series, a little bit of argy-bargy and is allowed as long as it's within the racing regulations. But one of the biggest rules we've got with this series is there's no whinging about it afterwards.
Well, they say what happens, rule 1 of Venom series, stays with Venom series.
That's right, what happens on the track stays out there on the track.
Mate, everybody was... I thought race 1 saw some great driving by the majority of the field, and over 90% of the field. Minimal mistakes, not too many cars off. With over 35 to 40 cars starting, we saw 4 cars maybe off on lap 1, which is awesome. So
that's right, and I think overall finishing, we had a lot of cars finish the race, which means we get a lot of cars in this race, because of course if you didn't finish the first race, you're ineligible for the second race. So
that was the key, wasn't it?
A lot of people couldn't decide to park it up in the pits. If you did, you weren't going to be eligible for this race. So you had to get back out there and put some laps down and finish the race to make sure you got into this race.
Mate, Jake Fella around Brendan as we come to the start-finish line. Plenty of cars out there circulating. Warm-up's nearly over.
Looks like Mikhail's managed to extend his lunch break. He's back out there on the track.
Kale, he's in 15th at the moment. Just come over the start-finish line into 1.
As we warm-up ends, and we end up with race and start the gridding process. Here for race 2 at Phillip Island for the Phillip Island Super Sprint on Wheelybins TV, brought to you by Wheelybins Mayhem Republic, with thanks to our sponsors West End Mazda and Limelight Motorsport. In the commentary box you've got myself, Daniel Coxon, and sitting beside me on the other side of the country technically is Pete Davison. Welcome back to Phillip Island, mate.
Dan, 30 seconds to go, and we're at least half of a country apart, so nice to be here.
We'll see how this race goes. As you can see, all the cars are gridding up on the start-finish line at the moment. It's a sight to see, it really is. All these vehicles, it's a huge field here tonight. It's great to see so many people. Great to see so many keen racers here. And it's a true meaning of iRacing and its popularity. It's definitely growing leaps and bounds as we hear the revs rise. Revs are rising, and it looked like there may have been a jump there from the start from Shane Evans.
Hale, we've had a car not start, or a bit of mayhem down the back.
There is Kyle Stokes, looks like he's got pushed off onto the wall. Cookie looks like he was also involved in that. I think there may be a pit stop penalty.
3 wide into 1.
I think there may be a pit stop penalty for the Chief, Shane Evans. I think there might have been a jump, and we've seen Dane Evans, I think it was, get the RackCorp car out on the outside spin also.
Dane Warren's off.
Dane Warren, sorry.
Ed Douglas is off.
This is what happens when you put these fast guys down the back in the pack. They've got to deal with some traffic. It's 3 wide into that hairpin again.
Oh, Thomas. Nick up the inside of Thomas. Harley and Thomas, the Panther. The Panther's right up there. It's in 5.
It was Mikhail that's failed to launch off the start. He's gone straight back to the pits. Out in front, the winner of all of that was Jordan. Out in P1 at the moment. Kyle Stokes sitting behind him, P3.
Oh, not far behind him though. There's a little bunch of 4 starting up there.
You see Jamie McKnight sitting in position 4 at the moment, sitting right on the tail of Duran.
Yeah, I think that 4 will help each other push away from 5. Jamie's certainly on, and Duran's pushing hard. They'll catch Kyle, and Jordan's mate, Jordan's in a good spot. Remember, Jordan finished in 10 to be around. He finished at the bottom of the top 10 to be in the position he is right now.
That's right. Shane starting from pole position has dropped back to 5th now. I do believe there was some tyre smoke there before the green flag dropped, so there could be an issue with a pit lane penalty for him.
Thomas is out. I think he's gone back to light the barbecue.
Thomas is back. Mikhail's back in pit lane. Harley Harbour's also had to make a pit stop, some damage to that vehicle. Straight in and out.
So he's staying with it.
Good to see. So Thomas is still in the pits, unless he's doing a pit stop right now to fill him up through for the rest of the race. Mikhail is enjoying a cold beer at the back of pit lane at the moment. Unfortunate for Mikhail, he had a good chance there in that race.
Wow, a lot's happened on that one.
It certainly did. I'm trying to find through to see what happened to
Jamie and Duran up the front, pushing each other around.
Back in 26 was Cookie. He had a bit of a mishap there off the start. A lot of damage to the front of his vehicle.
Jamie up the inside into 2. Josh in 1, Jamie in 2 to come onto the start finish. The Wolf just gave up that position. Sure, he'll want that back.
The Wolf's having some more issues there with that vehicle. See him blinking in and out there. Could be affecting his pace. As we see Mikhail exiting pit lane, he's coming back out again to finish the race. Probably just had to finish his lunch sandwich and make it back out on the track. Rodney Phillips is a bit of a mover and shaker this race, sitting in position 5. Got the Chief sitting on his tail, Kyle Stokes in 7, Jacob Knight 8th, Jake Vella in 9th, and Matthew Belton, position 10.
Oh, Eggy. Oh. Out of the pits with the pack hunting you down, moves offline. Wow. There's been a lap to settle everybody in as we see Brendan Ryan and Josh drag locked up the inside. Back in 13th. A lot of battles going on. Oh, I've got it down to the hairpin now. Got a huge accident.
Down at the hairpin at the moment.
Yep, Richard Skender was involved. Not saying Richard was involved, but only because I've just pulled that car up and thought he'd be a good one to look at.
Going back to have a look at the replay on that. A lot of damage to the front of Richard's car from before that, and we see Vincent coming underneath of him.
And if you can keep it
too hot.
Put that up for us, that was a huge accident.
Yeah, massive crash there. A lot of cars pushed wide, spun out. Vincent's been a bit of a loser out of that one. Possibly coming a little bit too hot into that corner, but I think everybody slowed down a little bit more than what he was expecting as well.
Mate, these guys 2, 3 and 4, some certainly happening up the front with Jamie, Duran and Nick.
Yeah, we see Nick sitting on the back of Duran now, pushing quite hard. I reckon he's going to be trying to make this pass down into turn 1 here. Got right up on his bumper, getting that slipstream, getting that run. Maybe not
has a little bit of damage on the front right.
Maybe affecting his top line speed there.
Looks like a bit of damage there. Nick's fast though, doesn't matter. But the Wolf's using Nick's pace to stay up there too, because they've both got to catch Jamie. Who needs to hang in there because we've got Rodney Phillips right behind him with Chief, Jacob and Kyle Stokes battling it out, so these guys can't afford to go slow.
No, that's right, because they don't want to. They won't want to let Jordan run away with this race out the front. He's already pulled the second over.
Dane back in 10. He's 10 seconds behind. He's got damage to his car. He's in clean air. He's got Frosty behind him. Wade Michael, number 2. Josh Dragg in 12 with David Trevathan and Dave Douglas. Oh, a big look at behind Dave Douglas in 15 and 16. If you want to go see some excitement at the moment.
18 laps to go. Dane could actually do this with his lap times being half a second quicker than a lot of people. Just going back through the list. Harley also back there in 22nd after a pit stop. A lot of damage to Vincent's car, also after that incident. Big gaggle of cars here with McHale, Russell Boardman, Frank Speed, Jake Vella, Stuart Carsley, Cody Busher, Eugene, all in this pack here. All being led by Cody at the front of this pack. They're all chasing him down. Stewart sitting in behind in the cleaner way as Eugene just makes the pass. Down on the outside, will he keep it? Stewart's going to fight him for it down the inside.
All right, mate. Richard in just at the back there. Sorry, Dan.
You're all right.
Where are we? Who are we looking at right now? So much going on.
We're just going to have a look at that replay of Richard as he's currently coming around that first corner on the replay. We'll see what happens. Did he run wide there on that circuit? Looks like he's just been in for a pit stop, so cold tyres.
Russell at the hairpin. Gale, 14, Eugene, Blurton. Oh. It's a lot of mayhem. Mate, they're all keeping it together. Catching up and spreading out. Everyone's pushing hard.
McHale sitting right on the bumper of Eugene at the moment, wanting to make that pass. However, McHale is a little bit out of sequence here, of course, being a lap and slow down. The Eugene won't want to be letting a lap car pass, but McHale's going to make that pass down the inside of the main straight. Eugene's going to let him by. There's no point fighting for it. Hopefully Eugene might be able to stick to the tail of McHale and make some positions up here. Russell Boardman sitting in behind Eugene.
A little bit of damage, so here comes McHale. Up the inside of Jake, Nelly.
Frank Speed, the hot dog's a lot of damage to the front left of his car too.
Mate, move forward a couple of positions and we see Cody and Dave Douglas battling it out.
Side by side, door to door as they're around that corner. Dave lets him up the inside.
It's been going on for a couple of turns, that.
think he was probably going to think he'd get the run out of that, but got a little bit of wheel spin and Cody's managed to pull it away.
Dave's actually caught him, so this might have a few more laps to play out. So
in front of them we've got David, number 21 car.
in 11, Dave's doing okay. Well, Cookie's in the pits. Dane's in 7. The Dane's come back from off to 7.
Jordan's made his way back to 6. There must have been an incident there. He was up the front there for earlier on. Must have been something happened.
We've got Nick Cummings in 1. Jamie McKnight in 2. It's about a second behind. The Wolf in 3. Rodney Phillips is 4. Not too far behind him. Then we've got Jacob Knight, like Jamie McKnight, but Jacob's run wide. Jordan up the inside, thank you very much. And is that Dane Warren, I think, just catching these two?
He is. He's not far off the pace.
Wade Michael off at the hairpin. Cody's close. Dave Douglas up the inside of David. Both of them have gone past Dave. Here comes Stewart in 13. Oh, but if we go back and have a look at Jake and Mikhail, these guys are hungry here at the moment for 23 and 24.
And Mikhail's actually back in 24th position, being a lap down. So we've got Russell Boardman in behind him, the next car for position.
Sorry, there's 2 with Hot Dog. No.
Don't know if Jake quite realises that Mikhail's a lap down here and he's trying to gain some spots back because he's fighting quite hard to not let Mikhail pass. I would possibly be just letting Mikhail pass just to save the wear and tear on the car.
Mikhail's pitted, got new tyres, and he's got a fixed car, and unfortunately old mate's missing a fender. It's offensive, or if I'm offended, I'm not quite sure what's happening there. But he's slow, that's what's happening.
Been a fender bender. Nick Cummings has got the run in this race so far, out in front, clean car. We will wait to see what his pit strategy is. 8 laps down so far, 22 lap race. I'm not too sure what the fuel starting load was and what their usage will be.
47%.
47%, we should probably get them about 12 laps, I'm guessing. Maybe more?
57 litres or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that'd be right. It'd be 11 to 12, I'd imagine. 11 to 13. I use less fuel than a lot of people, so I'd get an extra lap.
Yeah, fuel usage is spread across the field quite a lot. Even at Bathurst, we're racing in other sessions. I use around about 3.9 to 4.1 litres, whereas there are people that use around 6 to 7 litres per lap. Unsure what they're doing there. They might need to clean the air filter out. Getting some bad fuel economy.
I wish I could use that much fuel a lap. Sounds pretty fast.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, here we are. We are back with, where are we? I'm with Nick Cummings and Jamie McKnight. And I might roll back through the field and see where everyone is.
Sounds like a plan. Jamie's doing well. He'll be quite happy with second place here. No doubt he'd be loving to get that first, but second's a good position to be in a race with a field with this much talent.
Mate. Definitely, and he's catching Nick. He's a bit over a sec. He's about 1.2 behind. He's certainly catching. And then we've got the Wolf. So the Wolf's back in 3rd, and he's actually seems to be getting a bit of pressure from Rodney at the moment. So
Rodney's no slouch around here. He's very quick and definitely up with these guys when it comes to pace. He may not have shown his full potential in the last race, but he did make up a lot of ground, and now he's in a position to take a podium spot. He will be looking for it.
Behind these guys, there's a bit of a battle as I see Dane's up the inside with Jacob. With Jordan. Jacob's just there.
The Rat Corp first, the West End Mazda entries.
So these guys have...
Hasn't Dane made some awesome ground after that spin?
Back from an off. Well, These three are. This will be interesting. Jacobs down the inside, having a bit of a look.
Yes, but Jordan's covered that and shut the door. Also,
Jordan's flying, getting a nice draft. These boys are on fire.
Jacobs pokes the nose up the inside again. Be careful, don't turn him around. This is quite a race. Jordan's keen to get stay right on the bumper of Dwayne.
Definitely, if you can hang on the back of Dane for the next couple of laps just before you pit, you'll put yourself in a great position.
Jordan's covered well.
And Jacobs he's just sitting there, he's just having a bit of a look. There's not much you can do. They're all very similarly paced, and they're all carrying good speed and catching the guys in front. So any mistake from Duran, who's been passed by Rodney. Duran is carrying a little bit of damage, remember, so this could all change after the first pit stops.
Yeah, Dwayne carrying the damage as well, so, as you said, Jordan get a little bit loose over Lukey Height on the brakes into that right-hander. Back a bit further, Jacob's still chasing him, Cody sitting in position 8, the second of the West End Mazda entries.
Wolf's into the pits. As Dane comes around, Jordan's around for another lap.
So the Wolf's made the first call of the leaders to hit pit lane.
Wolf has made the first call. But Vinny's in, so Skilby in 22 is in front of the leaders coming around. He's been in for a pit stop. He's just out, so these guys, you think the leaders might come in next time round.
$11 laps down here, halfway through this 22-lap race.
We might have seen Eugene for a pit stop earlier. So Eugene's actually out from a pit stop.
Yeah,
we've got a few different strategies at the moment.
32 seconds he was still for. The Chiefs also had his stop, 40 seconds. 42 seconds for Jacob Knight, a long time in the pit stop. I wonder if he put too much fuel in. Looking at some of these pit stop times, Cody only spent 19 seconds in the pits. So a very quick stop by him. Like we were saying before, it all comes down to getting these fuel loads right to get you to the end of the race, but not be short. You don't want to over-fuel your car, as that's precious seconds sitting in the pack. So Jacob's done that. He's spent an extra almost 4 seconds, almost 10 seconds compared to Kyle Stokes in the pits.
Well, it comes back down to fuel usage again, doesn't it, Dan?
Does. It'll be interesting when it gets to the end of the race to see who starts fuel saving, to see who didn't put enough in. You see, I think it's Rodney into, no, it was Dane into the pits. Wayne's into the pits also.
So Wayne, hairpin, we've had the PayPal car off, run wide, it's back on track. So but we've still got we've got Nick and Jamie fighting.
Yeah, Jamie's just coming on the underside of Jim Dilios there. Jim's giving him plenty of room.
Jim's solid.
Jamie coming a little bit sideways there, pinched the rears, probably a little bit hard on the brakes, but
he's pushing. You've seen through that double left-hander there. He's pushing hard up over Lukey. No, through the hay shed.
A little bit of lap traffic for Rodney. Hasn't made his pit stop yet. Probably a good time as he's got Jim and Vincent in front of him, so probably a good time to hit the pits.
Vinny's pitted. I don't know about Jim.
So far, Cody is the provisional leader of the cars that have pitted. He spent only 19 seconds in the pit, so he'll be one to watch to make sure he put enough fuel in that car to make it to the end of the race.
He's 24 behind the leader at the moment. Well, as of last lap.
$15 minutes and 9 laps remaining in this race.
Been a cracker again, Dan. Great driving by everybody. Have we seen anybody off?
Apart from the bit of a mess at the start, everyone's done quite well.
Oh, yeah, sorry, there was.
Dave Douglas is doing well up in 6th. He's got a bit of a gap around him now, up towards Rodney Phillips is a fair way up the track. He's got Wade Michaels sitting behind him. A pretty comfortable 5th position there for Dave Douglas. Rodney Phillips has hit the pits and come back out again. Spent 36 seconds in pit lane.
Or the Wolf's past him.
The Wolf's got through. As we see Dwayne Warren come up behind Rodney as well. Warm tyres.
So this is a bit of actual, is it, at the moment, isn't it?
This is actual. So Cody is our provisional winner at the moment. He's the one that's pitted, the shortest pit stop, and leading the race provisionally after pit stops. Our current race leader is Nick Cummings, still yet to pit. Jamie McKnight also yet to pit. Jordan yet to pit.
Yep. These guys must be big. Oh, here he comes. Here's Nick into the pits now. Jamie as well.
A little bit of a loose entry there. Would have hurt him a little bit on pit entry time. If Jamie hit the same mark.
Okay.
Jordan has decided to stay out for another lap.
Jordan's out. Cody's now coming around. $11 and $12 onto the start-finish line. Gardner Straight. On the Gardner Straight.
Even got the name of the straight written on the wall. I know that one.
I do. I've actually just pulled it up, but that 10, 11, 12 don't have names. Into Doohan Corner. Into 1, Doohan Corner. 2, Southern Loop. Just keeping it together there, Cody, and Southern Loop. Keeps it tight. 3rd gear. You know how it feels, Dan. You got to keep it tight. Keep your speed up on the power. Once you see the sea. Remember Rick Kelly told me that years ago. Did you see the ocean when you fell to the metal?
Oh, that's the tip, is it?
In through Stoner? Yeah, totally. Because you're like, do I get on early? And then you run off wide. Into Honda Corner. I'm a big Honda fan. So into the hairpin, which is Honda.
I've got a Honda lawnmower and a Honda brush cutter. Does that count?
Mate, I wish I had those. Into Siberia. Into 6 goes Cordy Bircher as he comes out of Siberia through what they call the hay shed, which isn't written on the map I've got at the moment. I remember seeing multiple drivers have huge accidents here. Very fast part of the track as you come over Lukey. Love it. Power down, sideways. You know how nice is it to drift a car through there?
Yeah, a lot of control needed. The car becomes light over that raise, and it's very easy to do 180s.
Nice, okay. So there's a lap with Cody, I guess. Into the pits he comes.
Boy, a little bit wide in the pit entry there also. So, of the people who have pitted, we've got Dane Warren in the pits again. He's been sitting in pit lane for almost a minute now. I wonder if he's had a problem there and had to get a tow. That's pushing him way back. It's
not good. Jordan's in the pits. Jamie McKnight's through.
Nick Cummings has done his pit 33 seconds and into the race lead. Dave Douglas sitting in 2nd but still requires a pit stop.
Well, I think Dave pitted. Okay, we need to check. I wasn't sure if Dave had pitted or not. So
yeah, Dave hasn't pitted yet. So he's still due for a pit stop.
Oh, he must have pitted. We're 23 minutes into it. You can't do this many laps without pitting. Oh, no, sorry, I shouldn't say that. We've changed to 50% fuel, didn't we?
Did, so it's probably very close to coming in. Running this fuel load right out.
There's Nick, yeah. Okay. Sorry, mate. There's a lot going on. Nick's doing okay pace at mid 130s.
Yeah,
Dave's low 130s. Dave 132, so that's why he's been catching him. Brendan Ryan. Oh, Dave runs wide. I was saying it's easy to get when the car gets light over there.
Tyres on Dave's car would be starting to really hang on. We've got 15 laps on them now. They'd be down to canvas for sure.
Mate, low fuel. Even low fuel's a different way. You know, so many things.
As he's into the pits now. So Nick Cummings in position 1, Jamie McKnight position 2.
Okay, it sorted itself back out. Dane's gone. Dane's had a huge problem.
He was suffering issues earlier on. He said he was blinking a little bit, so we had gearbox issues possibly in that first race also, so it's a continuation. They haven't fixed that during the break. Mate,
communication problems, we all know how damaging that can be. Yeah, it's a computer, that Dane Warren out. Nick Cummings in 1, followed by Jamie McKnight, 5 seconds behind. Wolf, 4 seconds behind him. Everyone with a pit stop.
Yep, all ready to clean run to the end. Lap 16.
Rodney on the back of Duran in 4. Jordan's in 5 with Jacob chasing him down. Kyle back in 6, in 7, sorry. Kyle and Cody. Dave Douglas. Looks like he'll be 8 or 9 once this all settles itself out after everyone's pitted.
Cody's actually been in for a second pit stop. I think he may have short-filled that first one. We were saying he was in the pit lane for a very short amount of time and realised he didn't put enough fuel in. He's been in for another stop. Dave Douglas has returned from his pit stop, position 9. Very cheeky there, being able to run the number 1 on his car tonight.
Dave regularly always has number 1 on his car. Well, regularly.
I suppose if you get into
just get in early.
Get into the session early and you'll get it. Stuart Castley rounding out the top 10. When you look back through, Harley's worked his way back. He was back in the 23rd after that incident in the first few laps. Back to 13. Eugene sitting in position 12.
Harley's got 5 positions right in front of him. Maybe 4.
The Chief Shane Evans has dropped all the way back to position 15. He's done 2 pit stops, so I'm guessing he did get penalised for a jump start there off the at the start of the race. He's had to make a second stop there to clear that penalty.
Well, unusual mistake for him.
It is, but he's been a busy man. Of course, he's our chief and fearless leader and does all the hosting for us here at Wheelybins and race controller and all the other little bits and pieces. Got a lot on his plate, so driving the car is sometimes becomes the second part of the job.
It's about the 10th part of the job, I guess, on a day like today. So, you know, obviously with the break into the 2018, we've had a lot of extra work to do. So
yeah, no, it's got to give a big thumbs up to him. He does all our schedule races for our months and gives them all to me in some sort of format where I've got to retype them to put them onto the website. But this month we got it right, and I can copy and paste it. So big thumbs up there to the chief. So racing's sort of been a little bit of a second thing here for Wheelybins for him, but he enjoys it nonetheless. Getting out, having a drive, that's the best thing about racing with the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. We're not all here to win it, not all the time anyway.
Well, it's either I'm usually here to win it or bin it, so
one of the two. But if you bin it, you got to have fun while doing it. Have a good race, have a good chat, have a few drinks.
It's never fun to bin it, ever.
It's the only place you can legally have a few drinks and drive a 600-700 horsepower race car.
It's the chief, yeah, big, unlikely mistake for the chief. Jump the start. Could have had net code. Anything could happen.
Vincent's battled his way out to position 20 after that first hairpin corner incident.
Oh.
As we see Jake Vella hit the grass as well across the pit lane entry.
Dan, let's go back and have a look at the leader. If you want to jump on Nick, poor bugger, got a whole bunch of slower cars in front of him.
He does, and I don't reckon Mikhail's not going to probably make it too easy for him. All he does, steps left, allows him past. You see the other Red Bull car step left as well.
Yeah, good job. Mikhail's through as well.
He's now got Russell Boardman down to the turn 1. Russell will probably step to the right here and let him through on the left. There we go.
Nice one. Even when people are generous, it just the complexity level increases and things sometimes go wrong. So great job.
It's what makes for great racing. It really does. The respect between drivers, everybody playing their part, and the predictability of everybody as well, where everybody knows what everybody's got to do on the racetrack, which makes it a lot more enjoyable to race with.
It produces less incidents, which in turn makes it more enjoyable. So it's good to know who you're racing against and have an understanding that they're going to do, you know, a respectable action. So, you know, but sometimes you also got to stick it to the other guy when you're when you've got the line and he wants to pressure you off it. So it's always a compromise.
So the leaders on lap 19, so 2 to go.
It's nearly over. Great race, really nice race. Great racing from all the guys. Nick Cummings in 1.
Stellar effort. Keeps this up, he's going to take them both out tonight. Done very well.
McKnight, 0.27. Jamie McKnight's in 2. It's only 6 seconds behind. Mind you, about to cross the start-finish line around lap 20. Rodney Phillips. We saw Rodney putting a lot of pressure on a few guys earlier. He said he'd come rise to the top of the end, so 3 to go, and here he is. Duran in 4. Jordan in 5. Is a long ways, 10 seconds behind. Jacob McKnight's 3 behind him, with Cody Bircher 2 behind him, so right on his tail. Kyle Stokes in 8 is there as well, with Dave Douglas in 10. No, Dave Douglas in 9. 10 seconds behind Kyle. Harley back in 10. He's come through from the back. He finished in the top 10. It's a great finishing position for him. And Stuart Carsley in 11. Wade in 12. Panthers in 13. 5 seconds behind him. 4 seconds behind in 14 is the Chief. David rounds out 15. And a minute behind the leader.
Awesome racing, and it's good to see some consistency here amongst all these drivers, all still out here giving it their best. Even the guys that have had some trouble at the start of the race, all still out there battling with the guys that are there, which makes it more fun for everybody. Brendan Ryan back there in 22nd. Hasn't had such a good race. He had a little bit of a rough up there in the first race, which has hurt his starting position for this second one, but doing well nevertheless. He's probably listening to us. He's logged into our announcer's box, so we'll give him a bit of an announcer's curse and he'll probably make a mistake. Go, Brendan.
We'd like to, Brendan, big drift across Lukey. Yeah, see, look at that. Woohoo!
He's listening, and he gave us a bit of a rev and a clutch there.
Everybody's quite settled at the end. There's a few battles for track position, but for race position it is pretty. Or actually, we've got Josh, 14, 15, and 16. There's a bit of a battle on there. Josh, David, and Matthew.
Awesome racing. I'd like to see if we can get on board some of these guys and have a bit of a chat. I don't know which one to, whether I should talk to them or not. I might put them off.
We might wait till the race is over, but good battle for the, mid pack. We had 40 cars initially today, racing for 15. You're in the top 50%. In the top 50% of that's another wonderful thing.
Can't complain there. Actually, and since you're in the server and possibly can use some text chat, you might just want to make them aware that we will do some interviews with the top guys at the end of the race, so they stick around.
Can you hear me typing?
We can hear you typing on that fantastic mechanical keyboard of yours.
Shut up. There's probably 4 or 5 keyboards in the house.
Are you using a Commodore 64 still? I'm
still on my one. No, I'm on the 128.
128.
Yep.
The days of technology. Lap number 22 for the leader, Nick Cummings.
I've got to be careful that I don't. Who just fell off then? I've got to be careful I don't type when they're in an interesting position that they go, oh, what's that about? Oh, I just ran off the road. Sorry.
Fantastic racing here tonight, here at Phillip Island for the Phillip Island Super Sprint. Hosted by the Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. Don't forget, if you want to get on board, sign up, check it out. Have a look at wheelybinsmayhemrepublic.com or just get onto the iRacing.com website and sign up to iRacing. Plenty of great cars to race, V8s, the GT3s, Dirt, GRC and much more. Thanks to our sponsors tonight, West End Mazda and Limelight Motorsport. They have helped us put all this together, and thank you. So as we come around the leaders on the last lap now.
Here we go. Nick Cummings out in front. Good lead too. Oh, got traffic. Is this Nick for finish?
This would be Nick for finish. He's taken the
Well done,
win.
Nick Cummings for one. Jamie McKnight just coming onto the start finish now.
Fantastic result there, guys. And Nick, great race, mate. I'm not sure if you're on the race radio. You got Daniel and Pete on the Wheelybins TV live broadcast. 2 from 2, great result.
Well done, Daniel. Well done, Rodney.
No super cheap auto car. Fuck me.
What are you doing?
And that's what happens when you load the live broadcast up to somebody. I'm not too sure if Nick's got his radio on. We'll have a chat to Jamie. Jamie's no doubtly on the radio. Jamie McKnight, P2. How was the racing tonight, mate? Very good.
Talk to us, Dan, and
Congratulations.
Bloody lots of being up there with you boys and having some fun, but good job.
guys, he's trying to talk to you, but you'll probably find him either trying to talk on the old channel or something. I'm not sure what's going on.
Do it on race control, Dan.
We're on to a winner there. G'day, guys. Have a bit of a chat to you boys. It's Pete and Dan here at the Wheelybins TV. Nick, 2 from 2 tonight, mate. How does it feel?
Oh, good fun, man. Cheers. Oh, dang, I think gave me the food time. Just wanted to have a play and made a mistake on the last week or something. But that second one was fucking great fun, yeah.
Yeah, awesome racing, mate, for great viewing. Jamie McKnight, P2 in this race. Some bit of a tough night for you in the first race, but good result here in the second race, mate.
Yeah, g'day Dan, Pete. Look, very happy with the result in the second race. As you know, I know Nick Cummings and Dane Warren and those sort of people are sort of on a... I think they came here in a spaceship, actually. They're not from Earth, but the rest of us mortals made a second place is good, and I'd like to thank you guys for the broadcast, great commentary, and I'd like to thank the sponsors, of course, and also the guys who organised everything, Shane, Brendan, Cookie, and all of you boys, mate. Thank you so much.
No problems, great racing. Rodney, I'm not sure if we've got you on the radio. Third tonight, you certainly showed some pace coming from the back and made it into the top 3. Possibly not on
I had a boring race, actually.
We'll switch over to Eugene. Eugene, mate, I can't say you had a boring race. You had a few good misses up there. Got position 12 there in the second race. Wasn't too bad a night.
Oh, yeah, I finished better than what I thought I would have. But after the first lap, I had a bit of an altercation and the steering wheel was bent. And I thought I'll hang out for about 6 laps and then I'll fuel up and that should get me to the end. But a few laps after that, I thought, no, it's not gonna. So I was doing an economy run.
Awesome race and some great battles, that's for sure. Not sure if you've got anything there to add to that, Pete?
And I finished with no fuel.
Oh, well, at least you got the fuel load just right.
Yeah, well done, guys. Great race. A lot of respect from everybody. A lot of finishes. We had 40 cars start, and we would have had mid-30s finish. Those that pulled out came back in, and everybody was in half a second of each other for many laps. Really good to watch. Thanks. Great racing.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, Shane, great turnout for tonight's race. I think we had almost 40 cars on the grid for that first race. That's definitely one of our biggest.
Yeah, because in qualifying, that was hard to get out and try and find some room.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was a great run.
Yeah, it was hard to find a room.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for the entertaining race. Me and Pete here will wrap up on the stream. Thanks for your comments and your suggestions, all that sort of stuff. Great race, guys. Pete, absolutely awesome night of racing.
Mate, good fun, Dan. Wow, Phillip Island with V8 supercars in Australia, New Zealand, Sweden. Mate, exciting stuff. 40 cars, great track, really good track, a lot of grip. You know, if you made a mistake, you were punished. A lot of clean driving. Excellent, great to watch, great for the sport.
It was, and we'll be back here again next Saturday to do it all again. I haven't quite got the schedule up in front of me where we're at. I think we might be at the mountain next week. Next Saturday, let me have a look at Wheelybins.
Sorry, Dan, I'm trying to beat you.
MayhemRepublic.com.
Trying to beat you to it. And it came out today, of course, the new schedule.
One of the two. The next Venom series is at Laguna Seca, 40 laps at the sand pit. That will be interesting and cause for some controversy, no doubt. It's a tight track, especially through that corkscrew and some other parts of that track. Unbelievably tight.
Mazda Laguna Seca, free track with iRacing. Awesome
Free
track.
It certainly is.
Very good track. And these guys all run around there and know how to drive a V8 supercar and set one up to get around there fast. Dan, good work. Thank you for tonight's coverage. A lot of work went into all the productions, all you're doing, so thank you very much. Great to be here. Had a lot of fun, as always. Hope everyone that was watching enjoyed it.
Not a problem. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you to all the people that have watched and will watch, of course. It is up on our YouTube channel. It's Wheelybins Mayhem Republic. You can find more information about us on our website. Pete, thank you very much for joining me in the commentary box. You make my job a lot more easier. You're able to waffle on while I'm doing other important things in the background. It's fantastic, so thank you for that.
Yeah, good fun. Right, see you next time. Thank you.
We will do. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. This has been Wheelybins Mayhem Republic, Wheelybins TV. Thanks to our sponsors, West End Mazda, Limelight Motorsport. We'll do it all again next Saturday night, so stick around for that. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you won't miss any of the action. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you and good night.
Dance.